So this is my experience from my first week on Mounjaro. I'm probably saying that wrong. It looks like Mounjaro. Is it Moun or Mon?
Mounjaro is pronounced Mounjaro.
So at the end of today's video, I'm going to share with you how much I lost in my first week. But I think first it's probably best that I get to tell you how I came about to make this decision, because I know it's relatively controversial to take a weight loss aid like this. I haven't told certain members of my family because they'd be worried about me, but whatever. So for context, I've always struggled with my body in terms of its weight and how it looked. I have been on countless diets. We're talking Weight Watchers, Slimming World, stuff like that. You know what? I have lost significant weight, then put on probably double what it is. And I don't really know if it's a willpower issue or I don't know what the issue is with me. I just know, this is what I think, right? I think I'm a bit too greedy. My portion size is far too big. I've got this real big problem, which I didn't know what it was called at first. I've got this real big problem, but from the second I wake up, I start thinking about food. I plan my meals in advance. I could be eating lunch and I will start thinking about what I'm gonna have for dinner. I feel like I've always ate relatively well, but I just eat too much of it. I could eat fruit. I love fruit, but like I don't need to eat a whole punnet of strawberries. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's where I'm sort of at with food. My mum got really poorly last year. She had a heart attack that was due to heart disease, essentially. That kind of shook me into thinking I need to get healthy. I need to take care of myself. You've got one body. It's an absolute privilege to be able to move it. I need to do that for myself. So I decided on the spur of the moment that I'm going to run a 10K for Cancer Research UK. Having never ran a step in my life, and I'm not even joking, not even at school, right? Never ran a step in my life. So I've been training, I've been training for a while on this, and I will be doing it. It's in June, I've got time, but I was noticing changes in my body and that made me feel good. It felt like a lasting change. But what was upsetting me about it is I was starting to feel really, really proud about the changes that I've made to my lifestyle, my fitness and my body. But I would then underdo it or counteract it by just eating too much, just too much. My portion sizes were just too big. I'd go for a run, feel like I've, need to treat myself because I've done really well. And I'd have like 2 chicken burgers, half a bag of do you know what I mean? I just do it to excess. I decided that after all of these stupid diets that I've done in my life, I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to lose all of this weight, feel really good, feel relaxed, then all of a sudden the weight starts creeping on and I start talking to myself badly. I needed to find a way to get rid of that voice in my head that is constantly thinking about food. So I was like thinking about Ozempic, thinking, look, doesn't matter how much it costs, what can it do for me? I did a relatively big amount of research, how safe it was, how effective it was, what's it gonna do for me. The reason why I decided on Mounjaro was because for me, it didn't look like a medicine that was like sort of cure-all. It wasn't like a wonder jug. It was going to help people, or at least help me with this thing that they called food noise, which is exactly what I described. Constantly thinking about food, like walking around and thinking, I am actually starving, when you're not. You're probably thirsty or you're just fine. Do you know what I mean? So it was going to help me with that, which is going to help me to really start to establish the good that I'm doing to my body with my running and my training and going to the gym and all of that, while helping me understand what a good portion size is and what a healthy meal is, because at the age of 39 I still didn't quite understand what that was like. So I did a lot of research. Again, there's so many companies that will offer it to you. I considered doing it through the NHS, but soon realized that my BMI wasn't low enough because I previously lost a lot of weight. So my BMI wasn't low enough to go through the NHS or for them to really take me seriously, but there's loads of private companies that do it. So it's relatively, there's lots of different price points, lots of different offers, and I decided on a company called Voy. The reason why I went for them, right, let me tell you why. Number one is that it wasn't easy to get it. You have to speak to your GP, you have to speak to them, like it's a relatively rigorous procedure, I felt. They're also not the cheapest either. And the reason why they're not the cheapest is because you have personal interactions with people every so often that sort of help you with stuff like that. And I just felt like they were the right company for me. I just really liked their vibe, what they were about. They were a lot about minimizing side effects, making sure that you are happy and healthy, you're eating well, and that you're talking to people. And I think they really prize mental health over anything else, just making sure that you're taking care of yourself. So that's the reason why I went for them. And if you're interested in them, there will be links in the description. I think if you haven't tried it yet and you've done your research, you feel like it's the right thing for you, if you use that link, I think you get some money off. So I went with Voy. I did a load of research on side effects. I was really worried about potentially feeling nauseous, really worried about potentially having headaches, and there were other side effects, but I wasn't really worried about them because I feel like now I'm relatively fit and healthy, but I suppose that wouldn't really matter because it's a side effect. But anyway, so I took my first jab last Thursday. I went into my tummy immediately. What have I done? What have I done? But that whole day, I still felt hungry, still felt really, really normal. So I just ate as normal, trying to be as good as possible. But the whole day, it felt like I was gonna start getting side effects, because you know that feeling when you're just about to get a headache? It was that all day, but the headache never came, but it was just slightly there. So maybe I was manifesting that because I did a jab. Since then, I think I'm very, very lucky. I have not had a single side effect. Well, one side effect, right? But not a single side effect that is like debilitating, right? I've been very, very lucky so far with it, and touch wood, it continues. So I took the jab at lunchtime, right? So I felt normal all the next day. But when I woke up that morning, immediately not bothered with food. Barely thought about it, really uninterested, which is alarming in a way because I could make myself really poorly by not eating, but also I was not thirsty. I noticed that I wouldn't get like those hunger pains as a cue to eat. My cue to eat is that feeling of, oh, I'm gonna start getting a headache. That's my cue to eat. And then when I start to feel that way, I eat and it immediately goes away. The best thing for me during the first week was because I was so uninterested in food and so unbothered by it, rather than just grabbing what was available. Oh, I really want this sandwich, for instance, but I'm gonna have 4 slices of bread, I'm gonna chuck all of this stuff into it because I'm absolutely starving, or I'll order takeaway or something like that just because I need food now. Because I was so uninterested and so unbothered with food, I was able to take a step back and go, okay, what does my body need? How do I fuel my body? I'm just making better choices. Fruit is a much bigger part of what I'm eating now, which is like really, really good. All week I've been really, really good with my food, not felt hungry, so not really snacked at all. Towards the end of the week though, I was starting to feel sort of peckish. So like yesterday, I felt really peckish between breakfast and lunch. So I thought, well, I'll just have a protein bar. You start eating it, but I was halfway through, I was like, oh, I have to put this down. I'm so bored of this. So it's like you're peckish, and it's okay to eat when you're hungry, but very, very soon the novelty and the joy of eating wears off. Now, the things I've struggled with throughout the week is because I'm 6'2", my maintenance calories are like 2,600 calories a day. And normally I would aim for probably like 2,100, something like that. I know that's like relatively excessive, but I do want to lose weight, right? Trying to force yourself in those first couple of days to try and get to that amount of calories has been a real struggle because I'm just so uninterested in food, and I hope that kind of goes away. I hope I sort of really go, oh, I'd really like to eat something nice or something like that. I hope that does happen. Definitely the first 3 or 4 days I was really struggling to get there because I was just really unbothered by food. So yeah, that's what the week has been like. It has been really, really good. I did another medication today, and almost, yeah, it takes a while to get into your body. So I do feel a bit snackish now. It's currently 4:30, so dinner in an hour and a half and I'll be absolutely fine. I'm not really sure what else to add to that. So if you have any questions, pop them in the description and I can answer them next video. I'm planning on doing like a update every single week on how I'm getting on with it. I guess for me so far, I'm really, really pleased with what's been happening, but I think you're probably here to find out about the results, how much I've lost in a week. It's a good one. Let me tell you really quickly that before I started my weight loss journey, before I started running and stuff like that, let's say July to like 2 weeks ago. In July, I weighed about 23 stone, which is 322 pounds or 146 kilos. So that was how much I weighed. And then until I started Voy, I weighed 18 stone 13, which is 265 pounds or 120 kilos. So that shows you that yes, I can lose weight without Mounjaro, right? It was coming off slow. So in 1 week, I went from 18 stone 13 to 18 stone. So I lost too much. But so 18 stone is 252 pounds or 114 kilos. So I lost 13 pounds in a week. For me, that's alarming. I don't want to lose weight that quickly, but I feel like from what I've seen, because I was alarmed by it, right? What I've seen is when you first start taking it, you will lose a lot in the first 2 weeks, and then it kind of ebbs off, and then you start to get to a maintenance phase, right? So for me, I am comfortable with that. It feels really good. 18 stone is 4 stone heavier than my goal weight. My goal weight is 14 stone. I might not ever get there because once this whole running malarkey is stopped, I am seriously going to start stacking on some muscle and stop running and stop doing cardio quite as much as I am. So yeah, 13 pounds in a week. That's a lot. That's 1 pound off a stone. Like that's a lot of weight to lose. I feel accomplished. It feels really good to see changes in my body. I would not like to lose 13 pounds every single week. And the reason why, like if I lose like nearly a stone a week, that would be cool. That would take me 5-6 weeks to achieve goal weight. If I reach goal weight that quickly, I'm not retraining my brain about portion sizes, stuff like that. I want to sort of be on this for a couple months at least, just so that I can train my body to understand what, you know, putting good proper sized food into my body does to my body. And like, don't overeat and don't do that, because I don't want to be that person that tries yet another thing, loses weight, and the second they stop doing it, the weight piles on. I want this to be a forever change for me. It's much more about changing my mindset for me than what I see on the scale, but what I see on the scale is a huge benefit. Other than that, there are a couple of wins and losses as well that you can't really see on the scale. So I can see my collarbones a lot better now. Let me show you this. I've never had this in my life. Let me show you. Okay, you can't see it. But that bone there, never had that in my life. But something gross is Barlow neck, but I don't walk around grimacing, so it's absolutely fine. So yeah, that is the end of the video today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed me. This is a new channel. Like, if you're wondering what's behind me, it's part of my business. I've got other channels. Like, I'll tell you about that maybe if you're interested in the future. But I want this channel to be a lot more about, yeah, obviously losing weight, but like having a better, healthier lifestyle. I'll be doing other sort of content if you guys want to see that. So if you are interested in seeing me next week to share with you how much I lost again for next week, please subscribe. Please comment like any questions you've got for me as well. I don't know everything. I'm not a doctor. I don't know everything about all of this stuff. So if you've got any advice as well, I would love to hear that. I'd really, really like it. As I said at the start of today's video, it is relatively stigmatized to be on this weight loss situation, so I haven't shared it with my family. I haven't really shared it with my friends either, so I don't really have anybody to talk to about this. So if you've got any advice or any questions for me, I'd love to hear those. Yeah, I guess that's that for this week, so I hope to see you next week. Go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you then.